Hello, everybody. My name is Logan, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I made my short film, A Basement. For those who haven't seen it yet, you can find the link in the description below and in the end screen at the end of the video. Basically, A Basement tells the story of two brothers who are forced to hide in their basement when a atomic war with North Korea begins. The reason why I made this short film may come as a little bit of a shock, but I did it because, well, I was suffering from nucleotomophobia. I don't really know how it's pronounced, but it's basically the fear of nuclear weapons. The fear all started developing this January before the COVID-19 outbreak, when I heard about what happened between the United States and Iran. Now, I understand that the conflict has gotten a little bit better, like they've stepped away from full-scale war, which is a great thing. But the problem is that, of course, being the investigative person that I am, I had to bring nuclear weapons into the mix, and I soon learned that the hypothetical doomsday clock set by the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists was set to 100 seconds to midnight. That's basically one of the highest settings it's ever been since the Cold War, when the Cuban Missile Crisis happened. It was set at almost 60 seconds or less to midnight. But amazingly, we managed to avoid that, and I think we could avoid this too. The only problem was that after I read all these things, well, I kind of spiraled into a state of panic. It was not fun for me. I, well, I started fearing that, well, a war like this would happen within this year or my lifetime, and I started to become really, really panicked and even depressed. I didn't really have that much pleasure in doing things anymore, and my parents were getting worried, so I told them the truth about 15 days after I started developing the phobia. I've actually been reading up on a lot of articles that have been trying to help me. Some of them ended up unfortunately panicking me, saying that there would be global consequences of a catastrophe this big. But I also read a useful article on a website for dealing with phobias that says that there are two things you gotta remember. One, you gotta acknowledge that while a war like this could happen, because these weapons do exist, it's unlikely. Because even though, the threats of war benefit governments to, make sure not to mess with them, actual war would not benefit any side. So they don't want this. And I also learned that even though nuclear weapons are obviously the most destructive weapons made on the face of the earth, the actual attack radius of them is very limited. They would still destroy a lot and kill a lot, as seen in the short film, but they wouldn't destroy the atmosphere or anything. It would actually take like hundreds of years worth of that to do it. Some scientists differ otherwise, but others, it's a little bit conflicting. But they say that you gotta think rationally. Even though those things are big, they still are pretty small. Now, my brain has been a little bit at war with this. I want to feel better. I really do. So I wanted to make this short film in order to promote the Treaty for the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. For those who don't know what that is, it's a treaty that was first signed in 2017 that prevents nuclear weapons from being built. Now, it's not really in force yet. It takes 50 signatories and 50 ratifications from different countries in order to make it legal. However, 80 countries have signed, which is a very good thing. But there are still 14 countries left that need to ratify. Once that happens, I do not have to live in fear anymore, because these weapons will start to decrease by the thousands. Now, they have decreased by the thousands since the Cold War. The Cold War's nuclear wars that they thought could have easily destroyed all of Russia and all the United States of America, but nowadays there were 75,000 nuclear weapons back then. There's only like about 12,000 today, and even though that still seems like a lot, it's a significant decrease. But still, in my eyes, zero is better than any, for that matter. So I wanted to promote this short film with it, and I hope that you watch it all the way through, and you also share it with your friends, and even if you're brave enough, share it with world leaders if you want. You could share it with some of the ones who have signed the treaty and have yet to ratify it, Or you could share it with ones who haven't signed it or ratified it yet and try to convince them to join. It's safe for everybody, even those who do have nuclear weapons. Even though none of the states that have them have signed yet, well, they can do it. They, the treaty can affect them even if they haven't signed by the time it's ratified within. So please, um, watch the video, both of them, the full version or the abridged version if you want. You could share it with your world leaders, share it with your friends, share the message, and try to donate to the companies and the nonprofit organizations that are helping to deal with this whole mess. As always, I'm Logan Greger, and I will see you for my next project. Bye.